Hi guys, it's Chris with City Year Homestead. So I've been watching videos and I watched one this morning with Lisa over at Sutton's Days. And it got me to thinking, there's a lot of people that may watch her that don't watch me and vice versa. And she was talking about the government shutdown. So I don't want debate or anything in the, comments below on whose fault it is or anything like that. That's not what it's for. But when I watched it, I started to do a little research of my own. And the government shutdown, it's been 20 days, I think, as of today here in the United States. So as of right now, some of the federal workers are not being paid, but food stamps went out for October, and so did WIC, things like that. But they're already sending out letters saying that not to count on WIC or food stamps for next month. Now, we don't get any assistance, but there's a lot of people out there that do. In fact, there's 41 million people that are on SNAP benefits. That's a lot of people. The government spends $8.36 billion a month on SNAP. So that's a lot of money that will not be in the system. $100 billion a year. Now, I know I've been teased about stocking up and things like that. And it doesn't always have to be, Armageddon or whatever to have you do that. You know what I mean? Have you stock up, have you be prepared, have you be ready. It's times like this that, people have been teasing about it, but if you were stocked up, you'd be okay. So I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, what could people do if they do get SNAP benefits? Because there's a lot of elderly that get it. Their Social Security just isn't enough, and, I don't think the elderly eat as good as they should to begin with, so that kind of worries me too as well. And with the WIC, there's a lot of baby formula, and that bothers me too. I mean, the little bits here and there that, people could go without, that's one thing, but, yeah. So I came up with a list of things that I thought, if you still do have any of your SNAP benefits left this month, maybe go out and get these things so that you'll have food for next month, just in case. If you need to find a local food bank, you can call 211. I know here in Michigan and several other states, and they will, tell you where the food banks are going to be. There's a lot of drive-through ones. I post them on my Facebook all the time. And our food bank takes care of 5 or 6 different counties here in Michigan. But there are churches, there are different programs that you can, be set up for. A lot of the food banks are going to be hit really hard. So if you have extra things that you know you're not going to use or whatever, or that you don't need, maybe you can donate them to a local church or to the food bank or whatever, so that they won't feel that crunch is bad. It's going to, if it doesn't get fixed, it's going to affect a lot of things. The grocery stores, the transportation, all different kinds of things. We don't think about all the different things that it'll affect, and it will. As of right now, the shutdown doesn't affect me or Tom. His Social Security check still comes, and he works every day, and it's not hitting us, thankfully. But there's a lot of people that it does. So I comprised a list of some things that could be where you can save, and it's not expensive to buy it. And, nobody wants to eat this or that, whatever. But when it comes to, feeding your family, sometimes we have to rethink those things. So the first one is pasta. I know a lot of people don't like pasta or whatever, but It's very versatile and versatile. And, you know, you can add sauce to it. You can add butter to it. All different kinds of things. You know, it can go into a lot of different dishes. And with it being pasta, it can really stretch out a lot too. So, you know, you can make a goulash that'll last for, you know, a whole week if you do a great big batch of it. Tuna, it's still some of the cheapest canned meat out there. Everybody says tuna is the best thing to stock, but I've heard that in some cases it's not because it has, I don't know what it is in it. But anyway, tuna. Potatoes, you can use them in so much ways. You know, we think about, you know, fried or mashed, but you can actually make them into soups. You can make potatoes just, and especially right now, they're pretty cheap because all the potatoes are being harvested. So, you know, potatoes are something that can stretch way out there too. Hot dogs. I know. But when you can get hot dogs for, you know, less than $2 and you can chop them up and you can put them into your pasta or whatever, you know, even with your tuna, whatever you want to do with it, and that can really stretch out too. So, you know, we're not talking about, oh, we need to have the highest quality of something. If you need food for the belly, you know, hot dogs are actually a good one too. Peanut butter can go a long ways too. Obviously sandwiches, but you can also make cookies. You can make, you know, all different kinds of things with peanut butter. Beans or lentils. Beans you can get at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And, you know, I didn't used to be the biggest bean fan either, but you know what? It will fill the belly. And, you know, there's different things you can do with beans as well. I mean, you can make baked beans. You can just bean soup. You can do all kinds of things with beans. Rice. You know, if you want jasmine or the yellow rice or whatever, it is a bit more expensive, but the plain white rice, it's still pretty inexpensive, and you can mix that with your beans. You can mix that with a whole lot. And sometimes I see people add it to their hamburger because it will stretch it out. Frozen vegetables still are pretty cheap. Canned tomatoes, which you can use in a lot of things. Eggs, the prices have went down substantially. Oatmeal, oats, those are still pretty reasonable too. Chicken breast, if you can get them on sale, like I just did the other day. Carrots are one of your cheapest vegetables, and, you know, they're filling and they're good for you. Ground turkey or chicken right now is a whole lot cheaper than ground beef, and so is ground pork is pretty cheap too. And then, you know, for baking, so that, you know, bread is up to, even at Walmart, almost $2 a loaf. And if you don't have a discount store close by, flour, sugar, and cornmeal are something that, you know, baking powder, baking soda, it doesn't take much to make a loaf of bread. And I'm not a bread fan, but you can make a whole lot of bread with your own flour and everything else. So, you know, and maybe some yeast. I'm hoping that this shutdown stops and that it doesn't affect anybody. But, you know, after watching her and a few other channels, I thought, you know, I should say something to my people too, because there might be some of you that get SNAP benefits and that, you know, things might get a little bit rough here. But, you know, if you can help the food bank, then, you know, do that, or local churches or whatever. If you know an elderly family or whatever and they need a little bit of help or an extra meal or something, maybe you can, you know, pop in and give it to them. Together, everybody can get through everything. I'm hoping that this gets settled soon. I did not realize that, I always knew that WIC was funded by the state, but what I didn't realize, well, I guess I did, but just didn't think of it, is that that funding comes from the federal government to the state, who disperses it. So if the federal government's not pushing it out, the state, they can't do it. And I guess the housing won't be paid either. So there might be a little bit of pain here that we're going to feel. Some of our friends, family, or whatever. So, you know, those were just some ideas I had on things that you could maybe stock up on if you still have some stamps. Utilize your food banks. You know, there's a lot of times that food is even offered on Marketplace, you know, canned goods and stuff like that. You know, and if you can get from there, do it. You know what I mean? I don't think it should last much longer than November, so let's hope not anyway. But I've just seen a lot of channels, you know, giving their people that warning, and I thought I should do the same thing. But we can get through all this, I'm sure. And yeah, it's kind of scary, I know. But and a lot of people don't think, and this is why even when people tease me about, you know, canning, or, you know, oh gosh, she got 40 pounds of chicken, or she did this, she did that. You know what? This is exactly why. I mean, it's not affecting us at all. We don't get any help from the government, but there's a lot of people that do. And if you can grab those things when they're on sale, go to a discount grocery store, whatever it happens to be, do it. Don't let people tease you, because you know what? This coming up could be something that really affects you and could really hurt you and your family and your children and your elders and whatever. Don't let people tease you about it. You do what you have to do to put food in the belly of your kids and your family. So, thank you, Lisa, for doing that video, because it really did kind of hit to me today too. And so I just wanted to put this video out for you guys. Know that I love you, and our prayers are always with you. And you guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing, and I'll see you at supper.